Will British nationals who commit war crimes in Gaza be prosecuted? And why are there British nationals fighting in the Israeli army? And what is the UK government's position on this? To answer all these questions, we need to start at the Israeli law called the Law of Return. In 1950, the Israeli parliament passed the Law of Return, which meant that any person who could prove they were Jewish, along with their children and spouse, could become a citizen of Israel, regardless of their country of origin. Because of this, Jews from all around the world moved to Israel and started their lives there. This includes joining the army if you want to. For example, this is Peter Lerner, who moved to Israel from Kenton, North London when he was 12. He's now the face of the Israeli army as a lieutenant colonel. And of course there's Elon Levy, who you might know best as the spokesman for the Israeli government. Colonel Richard Hecht, the IDF spokesman with a strong Glaswegian accent because he grew up on the Clyde in Scotland. And lastly, Levi Simon from Bristol, a man who filmed himself raising the Israeli flag in a UN school in Gaza.
Waving an Israeli flag in one of their schools where they teach terrorism, so we decided to teach something about Israel. We're here to stay, we're not going anywhere, we're not going to take your terror. And we're going to start teaching Hebrew in this school soon.
None of these immigration stories are unique, but British nationals who are part of Israel's military machine that commits war crimes should be open to prosecution on return to the UK. But will this ever happen? After the October 7th attacks, the International Centre for Justice in Palestine wrote to the Foreign Office to warn them that there was a serious risk of genocide in Gaza and that British nationals, including dual Israeli-British nationals, were at serious risk of participating in war crimes, crimes against humanity and acts of genocide. Middle East Eye also contacted the Foreign Office to clear up the confusion around UK policy. A spokesperson eventually told Middle East Eye that it advised against all but essential travel to Israel and the Palestinian territories. The government's department also added that dual nationals may be liable for military service in another country. But what does this mean? Does this mean the UK government recognised the right of British Syrians to fight for President Bashar al-Assad? The actual number of British Jews and dual nationals fighting in the Israeli army is not public knowledge. Sam Sank, an Israeli army reservist from Stanmore in North London, told The Times that judging by the number of his friends in the Israeli army, he believes there are hundreds, if not thousands, fighting for Israel. Last month, the Minister of State for the Home Office was also asked about UK citizens fighting for Israel. He said that anyone who travels to conflict zones to engage in unlawful activity should expect to be investigated upon their return to the UK. Decisions on prosecutions are taken independently by the police and Crown Prosecution Service on a case-by-case basis.